Starting a new city can be extremely overwhelming at times, especially in the beginning stages when even the smallest mistakes can cost you the most long term. In the first episode of the series, I made a couple of critical mistakes that was pointed out to me in the comments, as well as a couple of direct messages. I completely forgot to leave room for parking. I talked about it in the first episode multiple times that this would later on be a dense area, especially towards the docks, and it would be our main downtown area, and I completely forgot to leave parking for it. I also rushed the initial grid, mostly in a bit of a panic because of our tanking bank balance, and I mostly learned to live with it now, but it's still mistakes that I had to live with. So I kind of went back and had to make a couple of changes. So in between episodes, I quickly laid down some alleyways to allow for better flow to provide a much needed aesthetic. I also rebuilt a couple of neighborhoods to allow for some decorating, which is kind of where we're going to start today. If you're ready, then hit the like button and make sure to destroy the subscribe button. It helps the channel out a ton and I'll be very grateful. Also, leave a comment below and tell me how your day is going for the YouTube algorithm because that's what it likes. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so first thing I want to do is start over here at this apartment complex that I kind of rebuilt. Originally, we had a couple of low density neighborhoods, a couple of low density houses here. I decided to get rid of them and in turn place down a couple of apartment buildings. And I think they turned out pretty well, and I think they fit the area kind of how I wanted it to, and I think it's going to be a good move. Now, I want to start by decorating this area by placing a couple of benches, maybe some bushes, and we'll see how this goes. So bear with me while I dive into some landscaping at the beginning of the episode. So let's see how this goes. All right, I think this alone kind of brings the area together. Now, the whole vibe behind this was, well, you're kind of in the middle of a large city and having a place to slip away into a bit of nature, even if it is surrounded by skyscrapers, I think would be a very good idea and a good amenity to just at least make people a little bit happy. Now, we have a little bit of a mod here. Well, I actually don't know if it's a mod. I actually don't know if it's a mod or not. The chance it's not, but we can draw in a park area where people will come explore simply because we designate it as a park. So I think if we designate this as a park specifically, I think it'll be a good idea, and hopefully people will come visit even more and enjoy the area simply just because of that designation. I don't know if it works that way, but I guess we'll find out. All right. I think I'm super happy with this area. Now, next thing I want to move on to is working on a little bit of parking. Now, we didn't leave any room for parking in the last episode, so that's something I want to take care of almost immediately. Our population's finally coming back up after I destroyed a bunch of housing, and our budget's starting to kind of balance itself again. We were about $1,700 in the negative every single hour when I first got back into the save, so it looks like we're making progress. Also, this parish church right here, the UK parish church, for some reason, it disappears randomly and then it comes back. Like the actual church building itself. Like the cemetery is still here, but the church building itself kind of disappears. And sometimes it's like when I relaunch the server, not the server, the save file, it'll be gone. And then I'll give it a few minutes and it'll come back. Or other times I have to relog and then it'll come back. So hopefully the developers know about it and they're able to provide a fix to that. But it's one thing that I've been noticing, and it's kind of annoying to notice anyway. All right, so today I'm considering picking up a couple of tiles, but before we do so, I want to get to level 4, because in level 4, that's when we unlocked the low rent buildings, as well as we start getting towards the high density stuff, which I guess high density we don't get to level 8, which is still a bit far away, but at least with the low rent buildings, we can start building out this area and making it look at least a little bit decent. At the same time, we can also put in some medium density apartments here in this area as placeholders, and later on we can redevelop the area, approve some grants and some permits for major expansion down the road. Now, how can we do this without kind of destroying the aesthetic? Now, there's already existing alleyways. I'm almost tempted to just go with the alleyways, but I know long term that wouldn't really help the traffic too much, and I think having a bit of a sidewalk here would also be beneficial. So I think what I'm going to do, if I'm able to, I'm going to save the game here first, okay, before we do anything else. Let's save this right here. All right. And then I'm going to try to upgrade all of this stuff like that, hopefully without breaking anything. Now, there's a chance that it all falls apart, and I'm hoping that it doesn't. So we do that there. Can we get this road to line? See, this road already isn't lining up like that. So we'll go with something like this. That's completely off. We'll have to figure out how to connect this up, maybe even by destruction, or maybe even disconnect this and just have a road loop kind of off in this direction. And maybe something like that will be worth it. Something to definitely keep an eye on. That also didn't connect correctly. What we're going to do, we're going to go into our tile management, and we're going to unlock this tile right here specifically. Now, we'll probably get a couple of more as we go, but I want to play it smart and know exactly what I'm going to buy when I buy it. And if I pre-buy everything, then it's going to be kind of a bit of an issue where I'm just kind of throwing away money at that point. Now, right here, what I'm going to do with this, actually, what we will do, we'll get the neighboring tile as well right here for $26,000. We have no monthly upkeep because I have it off completely because I don't want to deal with it, and I think it's okay. All right, we'll get rid of that. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. Okay. I'm thinking about redoing it all to get the solid concrete siding like this, but I weirdly like the aesthetic that this leaves. Am I the only one? I weirdly enjoy that. We'll leave it for now, and if it bothers me down the road, then I'll get rid of it or something, but for now I think I'll just leave it. Now this connection here, I think it is smart to just take this completely straight again and connect that there, but I also want to get a couple of connecting roads that kind of head off in this direction and start building up a second grid. And even if the road goes a bit in an odd direction like this, I'm not totally against it because it breaks up the monotony of having just one solid grid all over the place. And we could even get creative with some of the lots in between, build a couple of parks and things like that, and even get another city services campus as we go, which I think obviously will be beneficial in the long term. For now, not really needed. So one thing I want to fix though is this road, and I shouldn't have put down this road until I had this fixed. Just like that, and that feels a little bit better. There we go. I need to be careful because I'm just throwing away money. I've already spent like $100,000 this episode, and we haven't done anything. And I don't want to take out loans because once you take out loans and it's just hard to pay back. I don't want to deal with it, but we are going to spend $50,000. And the reason why is I want to get a dome parking lot building. Now, this is one of the mods that I installed, and I think it's a really, really unique asset. And I think if we place it something like this, okay, bear with me. And then we're going to go into move it. Then we're going to take a look at our grid here. I want to get about 3 tiles on each side. So it's like this side is completely fine, but this side isn't. So if all right, I was able to get that rather quickly, actually. I'm surprised, but it ended up working out, so I'm completely okay with it. Now what we're going to do is get some medium density housing here. And these are just the apartment buildings, but I want to check out these EU style buildings and see what kind of aesthetic these give us. If they give us the aesthetic that I want, then I think it'll be worth it to do this. Now we're going to wrap this this parking structure in buildings. And I know, oops, there we go. Sorry for I've been working on slowing down my camera spinning, by the way, because I've seen a couple comments I need to stop spinning as much. It's just a habit that I need to break. I know some people get motion sickness and things like that, so I'm working on it, I promise. And hopefully rather soon than I'll stop doing it. But I'm hoping this gives us a rather nice aesthetic. And I'm just gonna let the game run here and take a look at what we get here. So okay, while watching these build up, I realize they're not getting any sewage access, and it's because there's no connection from the actual city into this area. And I'm sure I'm sure you guys noticed it before I did. My bad. So I think what I'll do is just grab a connection from here and then just connect this into here. Now this will be connection 1. There will be multiple connections going through, and I know I could have connected it to here, but I feel like that just looks kind of weird. I'd rather have the multi-connection here just because it'll help me feel a little bit better about my OCD. Maybe, I don't know. I'm okay with that one. Maybe I'll be okay with this side. It just, in my mind, for some reason, this looks weird. Maybe because there's not enough like space to really like lengthen it out all the way. That's not bad. Okay, now it has a similar aesthetic going all the way through with that kind of design. I'm okay with this. That'll allow a dual connection here, and that'll give us the power we need. And then hopefully these buildings will build up relatively soon. Now we're also having a bunch. Ooh. Can we get one of these that like hits the roadside? I'm going to play whack-a-mole here for a bit until I get the buildings I want, by the way. So bear with me on that. Let's go ahead and go with some. What just happened here? Did I somehow switch to a certain country on accident? I have no idea what just happened. I forget we also have the UK houses. What if we put down a couple of blocks of those? Just to break up the monotony of the trailers everywhere. Because those get kind of old really quickly. I think what I'll do for just some low density, we'll just continue it off here in this grid that we already have going here. And then I think that'll be a good breakthrough anyway, temporarily while we get everything else sorted. So how do I stop things from snapping again? I don't want this to snap to guidelines because the guidelines always mess me up. I want this to snap at 112, but for some reason it's just not doing it. Yeah, this actually wasn't as bad as I expected it to be, and it's only because it's gonna be a little bit different than I thought. I thought the zoning was gonna be like all facing one way, but the way these blocks are built, we can't really do that, so we're not going to. Now these two will face those directions the same direction respectively, and I think that'll be fine. But then once we get over here, it kind of makes more sense to let things kind of just free flow. I think that'll be better long term anyway, so I think that'll be okay. Yeah, we'll allow a couple of the small. We're just gonna fill this in. I want this completely full, even if it's weird shaped houses and things like that. I want this completely full. How do these look? Okay, hold on. Now I have to play with these. Okay, let's let things continue to build. That should take care of a lot of our low density need, at least for a couple of minutes. I want to get this medium density back up and going again. Oh, we're just bleeding money, huh? High taxes. Oh, we don't have an elementary school yet, do we? We do have an elementary school. What's too far from an elementary school? I don't know what's too far from or is this maxed out already? No, there's still room for 700 more students in here, so I'm confused as to who's too far from an elementary school. That doesn't really make sense. High taxes is definitely going to be an issue. I want happiness to come up so people can move in even faster, but at the same time we need the tax money, so then we're kind of stuck in a weird loop here. So what if we lower their taxes back down to 10%? See, now they're not complaining about that, but then I think we're able to, I don't remember. Yeah, see, we're not making as much money, but people are going to be happier and they have the wealth, so they should be able to upgrade their homes better, which means more rent, and they're able to spend more money at the businesses, which means more tax revenue. So I'm hoping that kind of works out the way I want it. Now, if we can get the right building here in the middle, we'll be super solid. This will actually fill in the neighborhood exactly how I want it to be. And that's kind of what I'm... Again, I want these buildings. How big are those buildings? If I go... They're 3 wide? 3 wide. Okay. And then I only have 5 there. So what if I do something like this, okay? What if I go with... Was it UK that I put here? Or what did I put here? I think I did do UK medium density housing. Right? So what if I do something like that? Now, if I plop this here, and then I get a second building, and I just kind of merge them together with anarchy. Technically, that'll give me what I want it to do, right? So I'm okay with this. That's kind of the aesthetic that I wanted, and that's actually really, really nice. I wasn't sure how that was going to turn out, if I'm being honest, but I think this turned out pretty all right. So now we got to leave room for some commercial uses as well. Now we only have low density businesses, which is kind of good, which is kind of going to be a problem because I want like the taller buildings here. But I think for now, I think it'll be okay for now. So what if we go with something like this? We can't really see those buildings until they build out, right? So this would be a bad idea then for now. I think what I'll do is I'll just go with some more UK medium density. I guess if we start laying in some extra roads in here, but then this is going to be just super dense, right? And then we're going to have, and it's going to be just horrible for traffic long term. But I don't think it'll be as big of a problem as I think it will be because it's residential mostly. And residential doesn't really generate a lot of traffic. It's like the least generating thing in the game, I think. Could be completely wrong, and now it's like the most most heavy thing in the world, you know, but I'm going to pretend it's not. What if I go with something like this? Get a little bit of a road in here. Like that. And I don't want zoning in the middle here. I wish there was a zoning tool that I knew how to use. Or if there is one, where is it? Because I really don't know where they are if there is one. I'd like a zoning tool though. Come on. Come on, Colossal Order. Or Paradox Interactive. Or whoever makes this game. Give me a basic tool for that, please. I'd be forever appreciative. All right, go with something like this. That's already facing this way. And then if I just grab a bunch of these apartments, like that, like that. I want the 4, but then I'm scared that this is going to face the wrong way. It's not. Okay, perfect. Now, if we let this build out, how is this going to evolve? I don't understand why they're not building UK style smaller print. Why aren't they building these? Like, how did I get these to build? Because clearly they're building themselves, right? And they're like 3 deep. These are 4 deep, so they should have enough wiggle room here to actually build. But for some reason, they're not. And there's a demand for medium density. So what am I missing here? I guess we need another elementary school in this neighborhood because this is going to be like a high density place, right? So what if we go... What if we put in a community elementary school here? Is this facing the right way? Urban elementary school, $125,000. I don't think it's worth it. I really don't. Not yet anyway. And is it cost effective right now to build an elementary school? I feel like it isn't. But I feel like it would look really good here. Yeah, okay, so what if we placed an elementary school there? And then we just surround this with like standard American housing? Because I can't figure out how to make the rest of it work. It's not working for me. Or the North American style housing, excuse me. So if you know how to fix that issue that I'm having there where like the buildings aren't populating, or you know why, you can tell me. I'd be very happy with any solution you can provide. So I think we'll just let this build out and I think it'll be okay. Yeah, that's fine. Population's gonna skyrocket, which is very good. We need the population. We're struggling here for cash, but the higher our population goes, the more tax revenue we're gonna generate. For some reason, our costs just went because we got a new school here. That makes sense. I probably should have seen that come in a little bit, huh? $3,000 negative. I really don't want to tax people more. And I know I can, right? Like if I go like that, for example, and we'll generate a little bit of extra cash, but I just don't think it's worth it long term. I feel like lower taxes long term are the way to go. So what if we drop everything to 10%? Can we bring up our demands here and try to get some extra jobs? Look right there. We have an immediate demand for jobs. And I guess few companies weren't wanting to move in because taxes were just a little bit too high and they weren't willing to pay those to move into this area. So how can we expand this without making it look completely jank? We've already said it's not permanent, and I know it's not permanent, but it's just, it bothers me to have to just throw it down like this. But if it's going to be the way we have to do it, I'd rather get the money now from investing in jobs and things like that than go long term without economic growth. Because if you don't have economic growth, you're going to be in a world of hurt, right? It's just not going to be generating money. We're losing about $5,000 an hour. I think if we just let the game run for a few minutes, things will kind of balance themselves out. Oh, before I say that, we have more businesses wanting to open, and we're already out of land. Wow, so we have a major need for industrial works. I think what I'll just do for now, right? This is temporary. Please do not get mad at me for what I'm doing here. I know it's awful, but just let it go. And it's going to provide the jobs and the income that we need, at least for now, so we can be at a point so we can expand our grid and move our industrial area to where we want it to be. Like I said, this is not going to be the most realistic thing in the world, but as long as I'm happy and you guys aren't too upset with me, it's going to be completely fine. Now, why are they crime scene? We don't have any law enforcement in the city. That's a problem. I wouldn't want to live here either. Yeah, we'll go small police station. We can't afford much more. And then we'll go small firehouse. Right? 10,000 a month, 10,000 a month. This looks a little bit better. We'll go with something like this. We'll build that out into an actual complex with some parking lots and things like that. This will turn into a hospital. Bigger police station, bigger firehouse long term, but for now I think we just need to go. Now we're down to $7,000, $5,000. Okay. Now, are we gonna make it or break? Like, are we gonna? We might have to reach out the city at this rate. That's not good. We have a demand for housing. We can work with that. Now, I think what we're gonna have to do is just stop building for a while and just zone until our economy balances itself out, and then we can go back to making things a little bit prettier. Because as of right now, we're gonna start losing everything. That's not good. I knew I should have built that geothermal power plants, and I didn't. I didn't because I told myself I didn't need to. And I know I did that video a couple of days ago. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't want to call it a beginner's tutorial because it's like very basic coverage on how to like balance your economy. So it's like not really a major tutorial, but you know, it at least covered basic things of like how to balance your economy. And one thing I did was put down a geothermal power plant because that thing just pumps in money, but it costs $750,000 now, and now we're too far in the hole to balance that out, right? So we got to figure out a way to save this. But technically, with all these people moving in, right? We're getting 300 people per hour. We're losing less and less money as the time ticks, right? But okay, we unlocked a couple. Well-being +4. A nice corner building. What is this? Oh. Ooh. Okay, let's not do that. Let's not do UK executive mansion. Why not? Let's throw this and let's make everybody as happy as we can, and hopefully we can just grow the population of that, because right now I have no idea how this is gonna work. What if I put on the Polaris suites right there? All right. This adds a +4 well-being for everybody within a kilometer, right? Look at that. I'm sure everybody's happy, right? This thing doesn't cost us money, right? No, it doesn't. It might. People are moving in though, so I'll take it. Okay, $100,000 just came in, which is really, really nice. And we also have Grand Village, which gives us low rent. Oh, we have offices. That is another thing that I wanted to put in this area, right? I wanted to get some offices, but now I took up all this area here with residential, so that doesn't really work. What I wanted to do. So we'll put down, nope, we don't want offices here. I want high density offices there. for now. Do we have a little space for an office park anywhere? Right here. Nothing's zoned here. We'll get some offices. Now, I probably should fix this grid here. Just like that. Boom. And then we will grab our office zoning here. And this will be our first office. Now, this will guaranteed will move. I just don't really have money to be throwing things around with right now. So I'm just going to de-zone what I can. Just build where I need to for now. Traffic is going to get bad. We need to go unlock something. We need to go unlock in development. We need to go to advanced road services. And I think with that, I'm able to go to, is it here? Yes. I can go in and through and disable a couple of traffic lights. Now, like over here, we have an alleyway, the traffic light there, and we don't need that. Right here, we can go stop signs. Right here, we can go stop signs, stop signs, stop signs. We'll go stop signs there too. And I'll keep this main road with traffic lights. I think that'll be the best way to do that. What do we have here? We'll put some stop sign there, make it a little bit safer. I think that'll be okay. Okay, there we go. We have a lot of traffic moving in. It's okay though. A lot of this is temporary. It's just people moving in for the first time. So heavy traffic is always expected when that happens. Now, for some reason, this goes from 4 to 2 to 4. Lane mathematics isn't liking that very much there at all. So we're going to go ahead and just upgrade that to a 4-laner and let traffic flow a little bit more freely. Just like that, you can already see it start to clear up a little bit nicer, which is really nice. Eventually, we won't replace this, right? We're going to redevelop the area with a higher density buildings, and I think it's going to look really fantastic. Now, we already have a couple of high density things coming into play, and I want to just, I know these just came in and people are moving to their houses and they're all happy about it, but I really want to do this, and it might be a bad idea doing this, but I really want to get some low rent housing right there immediately. Let's get rid of those like that. And because these buildings tend to be a little bit taller, right? And if you get a little bit taller buildings, then it looks kind of cooler and it starts building out your skyline a little bit. I want that vibe of like super dense docks. I think that's really cool. I've always loved that kind of theme, that vibe. Actually, now we might have to build the key walls here. Also, I said keys correctly because if you were here before, I called them quays, and I got a lot of crap in the comments of which is fair. I called them quays and they're key walls, and yeah, it was a bit of a mess, but I think it's okay now. What if I go like this, just like that? I like that a lot. All right, we're gonna absolutely do this because now my OCD is gonna kill me if I don't go and complete the rest of the wall here. So I saved some room specifically for a park last time, if you remember. Right here, where I have this oak tree, I put it there so I can remind myself to not put anything here, because I want to put in a park. Now, which park? What if one of these fits perfectly. There we go. Now we have our first park in here, which will provide some amenities and some entertainment, which is going to be very good as we go. Lack of entertainment is going to become a big thing now because everybody's complaining about it because, well, it's a thing we have to salute. Almost said salute. The thing we have to maintain now is making sure everybody has enough entertainment so they don't go crazy. So if you lived in a city, you'd go completely insane too. Oh, these modern pocket parks are actually pretty neat. I actually enjoy these a lot. Ooh. Would something like this be nice? Where can I put this park? I want this park somewhere. And I think like looking off into the ocean would look really neat, but I could be completely wrong. I just put it down to waste money. How much is this thing anyway? $62,000? Okay, I probably shouldn't do that. Probably not a good idea. All right, we'll just, no, mini park is too weird. It looks odd. It's like a large city park. This could have been like a nice centerpiece for like a nice neighborhood going around it, you know? Would have been pretty nice. A canopy covered corridor park. Provides outdoor recreation, which is nice. But, oh, these fit nicely right there. Super nicely right there. Boom, got a couple of those going there. A couple of those bad boys. Nah, this one has to go. It ruined the the floor under it. It's gonna bother me. And then this one, we can go ahead and just grab it over and move it so it connects nicely, and it just looks like it's part of the apartment complex, and I think that's really neat. There we go. We have a little bit of a park. Now, is that enough to keep everybody happy? It is, actually. Traffic will come down. If it doesn't, we'll put in some roundabouts, and then I'll get rid of a lot of the traffic. But for now, a lot of this should take care of itself. It's just people moving in for the first time. And like I said before, without extra connections into the city and things like that, it's gonna become chaos relatively quickly. So we might have a whole episode dedicated. Oh, we're making money. We are making money. Okay, and all of our demands are just skyrocketing right now, which is kind of scary, but also really exciting at the same time. Super exciting, actually. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of time and just do some landscaping in this area. And I think it'll look pretty decent by the time it's done. At least I'd like to think so. It might look completely horrible, but we'll find out. Now, I'm hoping this parking lot can provide enough parking for this entire... No, it's already completely full. Well, that wasn't a good idea. Well, I guess it was... Okay, yeah, these apartments are not going to work. We need actual bigger apartments here. So what we'll do... Get rid of these. I'm sorry. They look nice, but they're just too small. They're just not going to fit the area at all. So we're going to go with the low rent housing. What does the EU low rent housing look like? Let's try that out. Let's give it a shot. If it looks cool, we'll keep it. I was hoping these buildings would be taller. They're tiny. So I guess we'll have to replace these with actual high density housing in the future. And then I think that'll be, and I think that'll do a lot for us. But as you can see, pretty much expanding our population numbers like crazy is what's balancing our budget right now. And I hope you can at least learn that lesson to not do what I did and not just... Oh, I just realized that this is not connected at all. Oh, I never connected this area here. Okay, we'll just go with something like... This is already pretty flat here because this already came down the hill and things like that. So we'll just go with something like this. For now, we'll probably disconnect that in the future because it looks really bad. But at least for now, it'll be enough to at least keep it going. Now this traffic light here shouldn't be a thing. This is just keeping traffic. So we're gonna go here and just delete that light because no one's turning around. They're just making lefts and rights. I should be able to free flow really nicely and clear up all this traffic very, very easily. A lot of this traffic has already gone away because we stopped adding so much housing and our population growth has slowed down to a pretty steady rate of 150 people per hour, which I think is a better rate than what we had. But I hope you can kind of see the vision of what I'm looking for here, of what I want as we grow. And I'm excited for the future of the city because it's been a while since I've been excited for a city. And I think it'll go all right. Oh, we have a tornado in the background. Hopefully it doesn't destroy the city. I guess now's the time to say goodbye before it destroys the city. So again, we'll end this episode with a brief city tour. Have a fantastic day. And for now, as always, I'll say bye-bye.